Morning, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. And I'm here in Scripps Ranch, here at Hoyt Park, trying to see if I can get some adventure action today. Right off the bat, here we go. Coast live oaks here with some large leaves on them. Quercus agrifolia, variety agrifolia. He's got some pretty large leaves on him. We got some San Diego marsh elder, Eva haziana, down here at the bottom. Let's see what I can find today. See if I can find any trails. I think there's supposed to be a trail around here, so I'm gonna take a look and see if I can find one. Supposed to be a eucalyptus forest around here. So let's see. There's some crows. Corvus brachyrhynchos. Nice eucalyptus cladocalyx woodland here. Very common here in the Scripps Ranch neighborhood. And those crows are going pretty buck wild today. Let's see if there's any trail action over here. I'm hoping there is. I'm going to at least try to explore this a little bit and see. Looks like there is. So this park is right off of Aviary Road. You can get that off of Mira Mesa exit from 15. Get on Scripps Ranch, follow it down, and then you'll make another left to stay on Scripps Ranch, and then turn left onto Aviary if you get off the Mira Mesa exit. So there is some kind of a trail here, so I'm going to check it out. Let's see what we can find today along this path. Another beautiful eucalyptus cladocalyx woodland, of course. What do we have down here? A few native plants sprinkled in here as well. Huh. San Diego mountain mahogany. Cercocarpus minutiflorus. Pretty cool. Then we got a lemonade berry and a holly leaf cherry behind it. That's crazy. Cool. Okay. Wonder what else I'm gonna find here. Nicely landscaped here. Some toyons over here on the other side. Pretty cool. Seems to be some native plants here. Cool to see some holly cherry here. I thought this would be basically all non-natives. I know. That's really cool. Yeah, this is pretty. It's pretty neat. I wanted to see this eucalyptus woodland. Later on, I think I'm going to go explore down there a little bit. There's a huge thicket of Mexican fan palms. Don't have to take a look at that when I get done with this upper trail here. This upper trail's really nice though. Beautifully shaded. Wow, yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a thicket. Definitely a nice. Ooh, some pretty interesting things down there. Yeah, definitely gonna have to take that lower path in a little bit. See what I could find down there. And right up here is Aviary Road. Really not that far. Seems to be a really interesting tangle of vegetation down there that I'm gonna have to check out and botanize. I think this is gonna lead right to the road. Oh no, there's a switchback here too. Okay. So this is gonna lead right to the street, it looks like. Really not interested in walking along the street, to be honest. I just want to see plants and nature. Okay, so we've got a nice switchback here. Okay, I guess it's going to be sooner rather than later. There's definitely a tangle of awesomeness down there that needs to be explored. Ooh, ooh. Oh, this is cool. Oh, there's some interesting stuff down here for sure. Mostly non-native stuff, but being a plant lover, it doesn't matter. I love plants. I know we got some eucalyptus comodolensis now too. It looks like mixing in here. No, these are still cladocalix. I'm tripping. All right. Seems to be a small path down here too, so looks like I'm gonna be exploring. Okay. This is ending up to be even cooler than I thought it was gonna be. So let's see. So right now we have a tangle of Mexican fan palms here. This has always been one of my favorite palm species. Just love the fan palms. I just love how they grow in these tangles. These are a very commonly landscaped palm. However, they escape cultivation very readily. As you can very well tell, these are all Mexican fan palm seedlings right here. All of these. These right here. These are all Mexican fan palm seedlings. Their leaves start out kind of strap-like when they're young. And then eventually, as you see here, they start splitting and eventually they'll become more fan-shaped like those. I've raised a couple of these palms in my younger years. Never get tired of them, and I never will. If I ever do, it means I have ceased living, at least mentally. So what do we got down here? Here's something interesting. Not sure what this is. You can see how wet it is down here. You get some periodic flows down here. That's what these count on. So we have some absolutely stunning fan palms here. Then we have this. I wonder if this is red Cispania. I wonder if this is Cispania punicea. Not sure. Definitely not native. I'm going to tour this. And when I come back, there are a couple of other trees here that I definitely need to highlight. I'm going to spend a little more time on them momentarily when I walk back. But there we got some Brazilian pepper tree in there. There's a really cool spot. There's even some Canary Island date palms, some young ones. Weirdly enough, I don't see any mature ones, but I do see some young Canary Island date palms. Coming up on one right now, actually, as we speak. This is Phoenix canariensis. This is a Canary Island date palm. And they also can get established quite readily in our coastal canyons. There's actually still a little bit of water here too. I'm sure these palms are loving. This is pretty neat. This is so cool. This almost feels like one of those palm oases you'd see in Anza Borrego. And I failed before the weather got hot. I failed to get to one of those native Washingtonia foliifera, the California fan palm oasis. I failed to get to one of those this winter, this past winter, so still kicking myself in the butt for that. So what do we have here? So we even have a couple of these here. And I usually don't see these get established here. This is cajeput tree. This is Melaleuca quinquenervia, an Australian native. These are very invasive in the Everglades. Very invasive, and they've sponged up. Basically, they use up all the water and resources and sponge up the Everglades. Here, I really don't see them get established too often, but there are a few of them down here. This is one of the species I was going to point out. There's some larger ones. When I head back, I'm going to point them out. There's a few larger ones, but there's a young one here, so they do get established down here occasionally, apparently. Usually the one I see, the Melaleuca, I usually see is Melaleuca viminalis, aka Callistemon viminalis, the bottlebrush tree, which is closely related to that. Usually that's what I see getting established down here. But I usually don't see Melaleucas getting established, or Melaleuca quinquenervias too much. We got pickleweed here? No way. Oh, wow. This is Pacific pickleweed, Salicornia pacifica. That's crazy. I didn't realize pickleweed would be here. That's crazy. Maybe there's a saline content in the soil too. But yeah, we've got pickleweed growing here, which is most certainly a native plant. It's usually native by the coastal marshes and some of the inland lakes with some saline content. But yeah, I did not expect to see pickleweed here. That's pretty sick. All right. I guess it's going to be some pretty serious botany today, it looks like. There's basically, and on this side, there's basically a whole stand of San Diego mountain mahogany. There's a lot of hollyleaf cherry here too. There's a lot of hollyleaf cherry. Some hollyleaf cherry right there, actually. Prunus ilicifolia, subspecies ilicifolia. Toyon. So we got some sage grub chaparral species growing here. And lemonade berry. Wow, this is a cool landscape. An abutment of native and non-native plants. Sometimes the mixture actually makes things even more interesting. Oh, here's a lovely olive tree right here. Beautiful olive tree. This one's been around for a little while. It's not an old growth tree. These trunks will be a lot bigger. These trunks will be much bigger, believe me. Yeah, there's some younger fan palms here too. This is a pretty cool landscape. Look at that root system there. I wonder what happened to make that come up. Looks like a Brazilian pepper tree root system, I believe. Oh, and here's sugar gum in bloom. Eucalyptus cladicalix flowers. Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, this is a pretty cool spot. This is even more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, this is pretty sick. As you see me cut my clips up because there's people coming by. I don't think they want to be part of my video. And wow, yeah, this is pretty enchanted here. Oh, here's a huge sugar gum in here. Here's a big one. There's a big cladicalix in here. Most of these are small, younger trees, but oh, here's a big one here. Look at that. That's a big one. Wow, that's a massive base. There's a couple of them here. Most of them are smaller, younger trees. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Yeah, there's more pickleweed down there too. More Salicornia pacifica. I could tell it's that species because of the lighter bluish gray, green cast and less intricate branching structure. Because another species that grows nearby is Arthurcnamum, which I think that name, that taxonomy is in dispute right now. Arthurcnamum subterminale. Yeah. There's a lot of pickleweed here. That is so interesting. That is definitely one of our native plants. You see a lot of this by the coastal estuaries. And here's some growing uphill a little bit too. Yeah. This is, again, Salicornia pacifica. Wow, that's pretty insane. I love it. Get back on the trail. See how far this goes. Yeah, I'll definitely point out some more of those cajuput melaleucas. The cajuput trees. The larger ones that were further back. This is a nice trail. Alright. See what else I find on this trip. So I'm coming up over by the intersection near where Carroll Canyon Road goes that way towards Interstate 15, and then Scripps Ranch Boulevard going that way. So when I leave, I could probably just get over here and get on Carroll Canyon Road, get to Interstate 15 from there. Hey, we're coming over towards the end of this one. And we got some wattles here, some Australian wattles. This is Acacia redolens. I always forget the common name of this plant, but the botanical name is Acacia redolens. It's a ground cover type acacia. There's a bunch of it on the other side over here too. Bunch of it growing over there. This one, it kind of has a sweet, kind of vanilla-like smell. Well, there's some larger Cladocalyx. Some larger ones here. On the other side, we're starting to get some red ironbarks too. Yeah, that's a red ironbark eucalyptus right there. This is Scripps Ranch Boulevard. Alright. Let's take a short look. Ooh, little buddy. Oh, okay. I thought that was an Amazon warehouse. Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. Where's some erythrinas? I wonder if this is Erythrina christogalli. I think that's what this one is. You see the seed pod right there. There's a legume on there. There are a couple of similar species. There's Erythrina christogalli and there's another species that's similar to it. I gotta kind of check that out. Alright. So this goes towards Powell and Rancho Bernardo. I'm not really going to go any further than that. It's all sidewalks and stuff. I'm not really too keen on that. So I'm going to go take a picture of these trees, these erythrinas, called coral trees. Alright, so I'm going to take this upper path so I can vary the scenery a little bit, but I definitely plan on going back down by the start of that palm oasis down there. But I just want to vary the scenery up a little bit on this hike. Just, well, it's more of a stroll than a hike, but gets me out, gets my feet walking, gets me out before the heat kicks in, so I'll just consider this a W and just go for it. Earlier on, I was in another nearby place. It's only a few blocks away. Very short distance from here. And it's also on Aviary. So this is Scripps Ranch right here. But in Aviary, there's another park on the other side of Scripps Ranch Road. And that's called Hendricks Park. And I did a short walk around there. But I spent quite a bit of time there. This is a pond, Hendricks Pond. And frogs were jumping. Birds were just going crazy. And the plant scenery, of course, was also something else of note. Of course, you know, I had to take note of that. So that video should be up too. Probably before this one is up. So be on the lookout for a video about Hendricks Park. I was going to try to hike up to some hills near Miramar Reservoir. I actually drove around Miramar Reservoir this morning, but nothing came out of that. I think the hills above it might be private property, so. And I would have had a park too far away. On the other side of the reservoir. So it's like went ahead and nixed that. Beautiful. Miramar Reservoir is beautiful. There's a lot of awesome. There's a lot of botany around there too. I didn't pull out and shoot any video over there, but I sure enjoyed driving around and see there's a lot of chamise chaparral and scrub oak chaparral growing around there. Really cool, actually. So one day, maybe I'll do a walking video, walk around the lake, and botanize that. Maybe we'll get another early start for that one. It's not getting too hot yet. It's warming up. It's kind of warm starting this morning. It was in the very high 60s. Alright, it's time to botanize. Hold up. See something interesting. Well, I see a few interesting things. Okay. Is this what I think it is? No way. The bushroot. Coastal spice bush. Neoridium dumosum. They have a few of these over here too? No way. Yeah, there's bushroot growing over here. How dope is that? Yeah, Neoridium dumosum, coastal spice bush or bushroot. And a spiny red berry to add just another layer of flavor to the mix. Okay, got bushroot over here too. Not sure if it was planted. I think some of the hollyleaf cherries and stuff like that might have been planted, but I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool. So let's see. I'm thinking this is just going to lead up to the road, but hopefully there's a trail going that way. We'll see. And more. There's a Mission Manzanita. There's a small Mission Manzanita over here. Xylococcus bicolor. Oh boy. That is cool. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what comes. See if there's a trail going that way. So I don't have to walk along the side of the road. If so, I'm just going to go back down and to the little gulch. I think there's a trail going that way. I don't feel like walking along the road today. Yeah, there's a trail. So I'm going to explore the upper half of this. Okay. All right. Here we go. Pretty neat. Let's see what else I find. Wouldn't be surprised if something else pops up. no surprise here. More interesting stuff. There's more bush rue. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of bush rues over here. Or coastal spice bush. That is so cool. Yeah, a bunch more of them growing here. All covered in eucalyptus. I guess they can tolerate being under these eucalyptus trees with all their volatile essential oils in them. I don't want to say they're extremely vigorous, but definitely not hurting that much either. That's where I was just down there. There's another trail on the other side of the ravine. Might be worth exploring pretty soon as well. But yeah, that's beautiful. These eucalyptus trees. And we got more toyon. Toyon heteromeles arbudifolia right along here. And more lemonade berry. This one's been pruned to expose its trunk. Handsome. Very handsome. Lemonade berry seems to do just fine under eucalyptus trees. The eucalyptus trees have essential oils that are allelopathic to a lot of other plant species. And that's a way for them, the eucalyptus trees, to reduce competition from other plants' root systems. That's why you see the understory is very sparse. But some of our native plants seem to actually handle their own very well underneath these eucalyptus trees, which is really cool. Lemonade berry seems to be one of them that tolerates eucalyptus trees quite a bit. So yeah, I'm going to keep taking this high road here. Toyon sometimes does too. Have you ever been to East Shepherd Canyon? I've been to East Shepherd Canyon, and there are tons of eucalyptus, comodulensis, and there are just thickets and thickets of toyons and even scrub oaks growing in the understory of some dense eucalyptus comodulensis, river red gum, and they seem to do just fine. In fact, when I saw them, they were actually quite luscious. I mean, toyons are typically used to growing in understory of coast live oak woodland, and of course chaparral. But toyons seem to actually do just fine under eucalyptus as well. So that's pretty interesting, to be honest with you. There's even more mountain mahogany over here too. Definitely a little more stunted, probably. But they tend to look very sparse when they're younger anyways. They're usually not super densely branched until they're much older. But yeah, I've got a lot of toyons that are doing quite well. A lot of these are toyons right here. These shrubs here underneath the eucalyptus trees. Pretty neat. There is a mountain mahogany right in there too, all full of seeds. Alright, well, I'm going to keep working my way back down. I'm going to go back down to the bottom, look at some of the other plants, maybe admire the palm oasis one more time, and maybe take a trail or two on that other side. So, coming up close to the end of this trail. Just going to keep following it till I get to the end of the turf. And then I'm going to go return and go down that way again. One more look at that palm oasis, and we can see if I can access that other trail on the other side. I want to check out this little woodsy section here. This is nice and woodsy here. Yeah, this is nice. Nice and shady here. like this part here too. It's very shady. All right. Let's see what else. All right. What's at the end of this one? Ooh, western fence lizard. Hello, buddy. All right. Well, I think this is an Afghan pine. I think. Pinus aldarica. Nice looking tree. So here's Aviary and Canyon Lake. This will be my turnaround point here. So head to the other side. One more adventure. Alright, so I'm heading back towards the Palm Oasis area. We'll take one more look over there and then explore a trail on the other side so I can get some more distance in. At least get some miles in before it gets too hot. I'll start heading back home, stay in air conditioning the rest of my days off. Where I live, it's supposed to be in the mid 90s today and mid to upper 90s tomorrow. Originally it was supposed to start cooling off. I'm hoping next week won't be as, it's not supposed to be as bad. But then again, things change, unfortunately. So I'll have to contend with that likely. It's a nice little, almost like a miniature canyon. It's a nice little drainage area. Yeah, it's pretty nice here. I like it. Definitely like it here. Alright, well. See over by the palm grove. Is that a tiger swallowtail? Ooh, look at that. That's a big one. Kind of hard to see on camera. A handsome butterfly. That's some large wings on it. Alright, let's keep on trekking. So there's another really tall pine right there. Like the one towards the intersection of Aviary and Canyon Lake. Actually, I still think that, I think those are, I think that was, as is this one, I believe are both Aleppo pines as I think about it now. It actually looks more like an Aleppo pine, but it does kind of look like an Afghan pine. Usually it's a little taller and narrower than the more rugged Aleppo pines, but that's a tall Aleppo pine. I still think that it's an Aleppo pine, but they are closely related. Pinus aldarica and Pinus halepensis are closely related trees and can be confused. So here we're going back down to the Palm Oasis. I'm going to see you down over by some more cajuput trees really quickly. Alright, here's some more cajuput tree. Also, it's a type of paper bark, Melaleuca quinquenervia. You see, it's got that shreddy, fibrous bark. It's kind of papery. Looks a little papery. There's a bunch of it in here, actually. So these are naturalizing here. These are all Melaleuca quinquenervias, or cajuput trees. You can tell they're reproducing and they're naturalizing. As I mentioned in an earlier clip, these trees are very invasive in the Florida Everglades. They've taken up a lot of real estate. Here, I haven't seen a lot of naturalization here in San Diego County in Southern California. This is probably the most I've ever seen so far. But yeah, right here in the middle of a palm oasis. This must be what Anza-Borrego Desert State Park feels like in those palm oasis canyons. But yeah, these are all Melaleuca quinquenervia saplings right here. Cajuput trees. Except for that Brazilian pepper tree right over there. Wow, yeah, this is pretty cool being in the middle of a palm oasis. Not gonna lie. This is probably what it feels like to be in Anza Borrego. I still want to go to one of those palm canyons and get a spotlight on Washingtonia foliifera, the California fan palm, which is a very close relative here of the Mexican fan palms. And here's another Canary Island date palm right here. Look at this. Yeah, here's a young Canary Island date palm. Yeah. Yeah, this is so beautiful here. I love it. I love these palm oases. Whether they're the native ones, the Washingtonia foliiferas in the desert, or the Mexican fan palms. They definitely give off that similar vibe. I mean, these palms do provide habitat for wild animals, so it's not all bad, as a lot of people would suggest. Yes, these are not natives by any stretch, but they do provide habitat. They do provide habitat, believe me. Pretty crazy. It's really nice looking, actually. It's pretty beautiful. It's thickets of plants, thickets of palms. Pretty neat. Not gonna lie. All right. Oh, it's like the jungle in here. Let me get a couple pictures. All right, so yeah, I love these palm oases. I love these palm oases. I don't know, I just love them. Pretty neat. I love their shaggy petticoats. In other words, all the dried fronds that hang down. They do look wild and kind of selvatic. Pretty cool. Not gonna lie. All right, it's a little unstable over here. I'm gonna go back to the trail over here. Start taking a look around on the other side. So let's see what this side has to offer. Okay, here's that tall pine tree. Pretty sure these are still Aleppos. Yeah, that's pretty tall. Pretty tall tree. That's a pretty tall Aleppo pine. Again, I'm assuming this is still Aleppo. Ah, that's cool. So this is the other side of the canyon. Take a short walk on this one. This is not going to be long. All right, let's see if I find anything on this side. There's a Peruvian pepper tree. Scinis mole. Pretty cool. Let's see what else. Native laurel sumac. Ooh, and a larger one up here. That's a much larger laurel sumac there. Pretty nice sized one. Okay. Who knows what else I'm gonna find. Oh boy. Another mission prickly pear. Alright, let's see what happens till this trail runs out. What else am I gonna find? I'm just about the end of this. At the end of this trail, it looks like it's gonna be private property coming up here. So I think I'm about at the end of this. Just about. I think this ends up over by the park, or not the park, but the street the park's on. I think that's Canyon Lake over there. So I'm probably just gonna walk along the sidewalk. Yeah. It's been a neat little adventure. Kind of looping around a little bit. There's that pharmaceutical place right there. All right. I think this is just Canyon Lake Drive here. turn right here. Follow this back to the car. Interesting. All right. Interesting. All right. See you back by the car. Japanese black pines, Pinus thunbergii, and white birch, Betula pendula. Pretty neat street scene. I'm taking a lot of pictures on the way back. A lot of pictures to take. Of course, I mean, I'm admiring all the landscape plants. Typical for Brian, of course. Look at their pygmy date palms. Phoenix robelini, very handsome. Then we got some. Ooh, they're popping. Oh, not popping, bulbils. There's an aloe, tree aloe. Pretty cool. Gosh, I wonder what else is along here. Foxtail agave, agave attenuata. Really sick, I like it. Almost back in my car, just parked up that way a little bit. Here's some tipuana trees, tipuana tipu. They got yellow flowers on them. What the flowers look like. Tipuana tipu. Tree from South America in the pea family of Fabaceae. So there's a lot of cool things to see along this road here, looking for people's garden trees. American sweet gum right there, liquid amber steraciflua. Really neat to see that. Twisted junipers. Juniperus chinensis tortuosa. I'm admiring a lot of these people's trees. Of course, being a little jealous. Always jealous of other people's trees. But it's a good jealousy. I just love seeing trees. Alright. Should be back in my car really soon. This is the park right here. This is Hoyt Park. Alright. See you back at the car pretty soon. Well, these people have a relatively straight Cook Island pine. Araucaria columnaris. Theirs is relatively straight. Theirs hasn't shown that big lean. It's starting to show tendencies of it, but it's not a big lean on this one yet. Usually these things are leaning by that age. It's a handsome tree. So here we are. Back at my car. This is Hoyt Park right here. Little playground area. And that is aviary right there. So this is going to basically wrap it up for my video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed coming along with me on another short adventure here in San Diego County. See you on the next adventure.